Yo, my funky friends, a lot of Monkey Boy here, welcoming you back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. In the last part, we hit all of the generator switches and unlocked the next dungeon, which is the Lanayru Mining Facility. And today we are going to be basically completing the dungeon. Just like I said, what I've been doing for all of the dungeons, I will do the entirety of the dungeon in one sitting, and then I will split it up into smaller parts later on. And also, I'm just showing that you can actually like climb up the Lanayru Mining Facility, because why not? You can get to the top, and there's not actually anything here right now, but you'll have to climb this for something else eventually. I also want to say, like, now you can actually use the Lanayru Mining Facility to get around really easily. Like, for example, right over here, this is the area in the beginning. Like, here's the time shift stone. Over here is the ancient robot who you get the hook beetle from. But now you can actually like run in the sand. You can actually like grab onto the facility, and you can use it to easily get to pretty much every single other section in the area. Like over there, that's where the third generator, or at least the third one that I got, is. So that's just sort of something cool that you can, like, it basically makes basically getting around this whole area a lot easier. If you remember, like, we had to go through the Temple of Time area and ride all the ambulances and do all that other fun stuff to get around before, but now you can basically just I'm just showing this off. So anyways, I have some sort of bad news. So basically a few weeks ago, which is the last time I recorded anything for this game, I had one of my friends come over, and we basically together we recorded the entirety of the dungeon. We did the whole thing in one sitting, but yeah, things didn't really work out when everything was done, because like I said, this is like a new way of recording for me. Like I said, with a new capture card, and I figured out how to do like solo, but I didn't really think about what I'd have to do if I was recording with someone else, since basically I can't like use my single person headset because that's for one person. So basically there were some technological issues, and the final product would have been really bad because of like what happened with like main thing was like what I used to record the commentary. It got like really messed up. Like it had bits of the it had basically the game audio in it as well, but like first of all, the gameplay audio was a lot louder than the commentary to begin with. And I've always recorded the game with the game audio separately from my own commentary, because by doing that, it basically allows me to adjust the audio and have like a nice like my commentary to game audio ratio. But by doing that, the game audio would have always been louder no matter what I did, and yeah, it just didn't really sound very good. And yeah, basically here I am re-recording everything by myself. It's just me, so that's obviously lame, because when you're recording with someone else, it's pretty much automatically funnier. Like, I'd say that my best videos I've recorded are the ones that I've done with someone else. But if we like record this game again, I know what I did wrong, and I know what like steps to take to fix it, so no need to worry. And yeah, like I said, I actually haven't recorded this in a while. Like the last time I recorded, which is the failed co-op attempt at recording this, that was actually before I did my 100% newer Super Mario Bros. Wii speedrun, and that was a while ago. And yeah, I just didn't really have the time. Like I decided to take a break from recording for a while after that, because that was like 7.5 hours of playing, and plus I spent like a while trying to get the final I like just decided to take some like definitive steps to get the last headgear and finally finish Super Smash Bros. 3DS. You might have noticed I uploaded like a video that was like all the trophies. That took a while, because like if you've played that game, you know the headgear are the most uncooperative things in the world to get, so that sort of took a while. And yeah, and after that I sort of went on vacation for a little while. I had to go to my cousin's graduation, so I wasn't even around back then, but I'm back here to record for you guys, so everything is all good. And pretty much all of that, everything that I just said doesn't even really matter when you think about it. I mean, if I hadn't said if I hadn't said I've already like recorded with somebody, what would have been like the difference? You guys wouldn't have known, and then none would have been the wiser. But I just like being honest with you guys, because why not? So at the very least, I know this dungeon pretty well, because I just did. I mean, I knew this dungeon anyway. This dungeon is difficult. Like I said, this is when the dungeons start getting a bit more complex. But I have a pretty good memory, I'd say. So I pretty much remembered how to do everything the first time, anyways. I mean, there were like a few times I didn't remember exactly what to do, but as a whole, I think I remembered it pretty well, and this time I should be able to do everything as well. So yeah, this is called the Lanayru Mining Facility, and it's basically like a big mine. And something I really like about the dungeons is that they all seem like places that could have been like built apart from just like being a dungeon. You know, like if you think of certain Zelda games, like obviously some dungeons might be really cool, but at the same time you might be wondering exactly why did this place get built, and like why would people make like some of these like decisions like with like architecture and stuff. But with this dungeon, I think it's pretty cool because like it's a mine, so obviously there's like a reason for it to be made. And I think that goes for the other dungeons as well. Like the Skyview Temple looks like it could have been a place of worship, but obviously the thing with that is that it's just really old and everything's like run down. And the Earth Temple sort of as well, like all of the architecture looks like it could have been like a Hindu temple or something like that, but I guess over the years the lava started flowing in and it became abandoned, I guess. And I think that that's pretty cool, and like as I said, that sort of goes for this dungeon as well. So I just did the first two rooms. I don't really think I need to be explaining the puzzles that I'm doing. I think that you guys can kind of see it, and you can see like what you're supposed to do. Okay, press the right button, please. Alright, there we go. So I guess I can try and talk about stuff. So I'm not sure if I actually talked about this yet, probably not, but E3 was recent, probably the biggest game, or at least the biggest game relating to what I'm playing right now was, okay, that bat just got wrecked. I shield bashed him, then he just sort of fell. But the new Zelda game had a lot of footage shown. It's called, for those of you who don't know, it is called Breath of the Wild, and it looks pretty cool. Like, it looks... Something I've always loved about the Zelda series is that like all the games like seem very different from each other. Like it's the same basic concept. You can't go up there if you're wondering. We'll get there up there eventually. But there were always like distinct like differences between the games. Like they all have like their own unique gimmicks and stuff. Like for this game, obviously you've got the sky and the motion controls, and like all of the like the whole story is obviously very different. And then like if you look at I don't know, like Ocarina of Time was the first to be 3D and had the Child Link and Adult Link. Majora's Mask had the 3 days and the emphasis on side quests. Wind Waker had the Great Sea. Like pretty much all of the Zelda games have like their own unique thing. I guess A Link Between Worlds had merging with the walls. And basically this Zelda game, it seems to have a big emphasis on, I guess, like survival and stuff, and like the wildlife, because I mean it's called Breath of the Wild, so I guess that sort of makes sense. But yeah, I think that's gonna be really cool, and I really look forward to that. Like I know a lot of people are like saying it doesn't look like Zelda. Well, what exactly does Zelda look like? I mean, does it look like what do you guys expect from it? I mean, we don't want to just have like games exactly like Ocarina of Time or like the very first Zelda game over and over again, because that's just sort of boring. So I don't know. I just don't like. Plus, like the game isn't even out yet, so I mean, you really shouldn't say things like that when the game hasn't even come out yet, because you're just not even giving it a fair chance and stuff. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure most people don't think that, but I was like watching like the trailer of it, and like most of the comments are like saying stuff along the lines of, this game doesn't look like Zelda, or like the graphics are bad, which they aren't, so I'm not really sure what the complaint is, but whatever. The point is, I am very excited for it. You guys should be too. If you like Zelda, I'll probably get it. I'm not sure if I'll do an LP of it. I guess I can. I have a HD capture card now, so at least I can make it look nice and pretty. Speaking of that, one of these days I'm gonna redo my Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze Let's Play, because back when I did that, that was for the Wii U, and that was in HD, but I didn't have an HD capture card back then, so it looks bad, and also the commentary was just really terrible, but that's for another day. And yeah, that's gonna happen someday, but I have to finish this Zelda game. I have to finish this Let's Play first. I think I'm barely still stepping on that switch, so if I was like a little bit further off, this would fail. But yeah, I think that you guys can like sort of see what I'm going. A lot of these puzzles aren't that difficult to figure out. At the very least, if you've played it before, you can pretty much like recognize what to do in most cases, at the very least. But I just really like this dungeon just because I think that this dungeon, once again, does the past and future thing very well, or I guess past and present, because the past is in the future. Onwards, Aoshima. I will say one thing about this dungeon is that it has probably the most annoying assortment of enemies in the game. These things are bad. These things are called Beamoses, but they're not the worst. I will show you the worst in a little bit. Actually, fun fact, I'm not sure if you guys actually noticed this, but as you can see, my shield is at full, and at the end of the last episode, it was like half dead. That's because before this episode, I went back to Skyloft and I got my shield fixed from the scrap shop. That is because in the last episode, I actually got a game over, and I'll explain why. There is an enemy later on. It's called like a sentry beam that you can only kill if you have a shield, and it takes a while to do that even if you have a shield. But if you don't have a shield, to my knowledge, you cannot kill it, and it will not leave you alone. Like, it will home in on you, and it will do so much damage, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I literally lost, I ran through fairies and trying to avoid this one thing, because it will not leave you alone, and obviously you're trying to solve puzzles while you're doing it, so you can't really just be focusing all your efforts into avoiding it. But yeah, I actually got a game over, which is pretty funny, but oh well, too bad I didn't get to show it to you. Then after that, I had to go and buy a new shield, and it's obviously a lot easier to just repair a shield that you already have than actually make a brand new shield. And God, I hate these Beamoses too. Actually, fun fact, there's a point in this dungeon, I'm just killing them because they're annoying and they do a lot of damage, but there is actually a point in this dungeon where you have to kill the Beamos, and I didn't know how to do that, so I actually got stuck for hours trying to figure it out. What you have to do is you just have to basically what you have to do is you just have to slash it where the what do you call it? Where the I'm not even sure what they are. I guess they're connecting pieces. They're like connecting the pieces of the Beamos together or something. But yeah, you just have to slash them right there. And okay, am I actually gonna survive this? Alright, there we go. And then you just have to basically slice all the pieces down, bring the head to your level, and then just stab it right in the eye, or the eye laser, or whatever it is, and that is how you kill it. So that's your helpful guide. I'll explain it with an actual example in a little bit. This chest is what's the last switch that we hit is what opened up the gate for this chest. The one before that is what opened the door, if you were wondering. I don't know. I feel like I'm really just sort of speeding through this dungeon. Like I said, I just did it, and so it's pretty fresh on my mind. And yeah, not totally sure how many parts this will be split into. I'm probably thinking 3 for now. Also, this is cool. This is some cool design work that Nintendo put in. Just overall, this dungeon looks really pretty. All the dungeons in this, everything about this game looks pretty. I guess it's just because I'm able to play it in HD, since I guess the original one didn't look quite as good. But overall, I really just think that this game just looks really cool. I mean, even if you're not playing in HD, just the designs and all of the, I guess, the textures and just everything about it just looks really cool. I guess. So that's pretty awesome. These things are really annoying because basically you can't attack them with your sword. I mean, you can, but as you can see, they explode. So if you attack it with your sword, it'll just blow up in your face and probably knock you off the ledge. So what you want to do is you want to just use a projectile. I'm just using the beetle. Maybe I should be using the actually the slingshot might work a bit better. Do I even have any pellets? I have 28 of them apparently. So if you shoot it, yeah, there you go. See, it'll you have to use them to blow up these rocks. But if you attack it with your sword, it'll just blow up you. It's sort of like these enemies in Earthbound. I've actually been playing Earthbound a lot, but there's a bunch of enemies that once you kill them, they self-destruct and give you a ton of damage. The one I've just been encountering is called a territorial oak, which doesn't even make sense. Why is a tree exploding? Later on in the game, I know there are certain robots that do that. I mean, that makes sense, but why exactly is a tree self-destruct? Anyway, this is the gust bell. This is actually the dungeon item. Yeah, there's not actually a mini boss in this dungeon, which is kind of weird, but oh well. This is the only dungeon in the game that doesn't have a mini boss protecting the items. the first dungeon had the Stalfos, and the second one had the Lizarfos, and then there will be some other fun enemies later on, or fun mini-bosses later on, but for now we just get to do this. Yippee! So over there's a chest. I think I can just jump down right here. Alright, cool. So yeah, the Gust Bellows, basically, you just press the B button, it blows out a gust of wind, you, can, the bluebird, so that's pretty cool. You can blow, enemies away, you can, basically the main thing is, in this dungeon, you can, like, blow all these, like, little pieces of dirt. Get off me. Just get out of here. And, yeah, you can sometimes get stuff. We just got a heart right there. So, the Gust Bellows in this game work very different than they do in the Smash series, since I know like the Gust Bells are sort of like infamous for being like one of the most annoying enemies, or I mean one of the most annoying items in the in the newest Smash games, since like basically you can just sort of like basically what it does in Smash is you just like can like blow the opponents away, but like since you're like blowing them, technically it doesn't count as attacking them, so you can just like when they're trying to recover, just blow it away, and they will not recover, so that's sort of why these items are banned. You can, like, use this guy to... I still think that the slingshot is easier, because... I don't know. Can you, like, please hit it? See, like, it just sort of, like, blows all over the place. Alright. Perfect. There's no way you could possibly miss. No way you could possibly miss. Alright, thank you very much. You could probably use a bomb, but I don't think it would really work that well. What's down here? Should better be something good. Alright, 5 rupees. I'll accept that. Let's just blow. Alright, there we go. That is good. And this is the other side of the room. Just like most areas in this dungeon, you can push this box down, and you can get back to the start of the dungeon really easily. Like the start is over there. Is there anything in here? That's like when you have like a big mound, sometimes it means like there's gonna be something. Okay, it's another amber relic. Okay, something I can actually talk about is the treasures. I sort of tried to explain this last time, but I guess I wasn't really clear about, like, the rarity of the treasures. So basically, the top, it's not necessarily that they're rare, but, like, they're, like, certain things that if you, like, do a certain thing, you're guaranteed to get a treasure. Like, if you hit a beehive, you're guaranteed to get hornet larvae. If you catch a bird, guaranteed to get a bird feather. Tumbleweeds, they just roll around. If you kill one of the lizarfos, you're guaranteed to get a lizard tail. These ones are all things that you just find in the environment, and they're all common in like the areas that they are in. So like, this is common in Eldin, this is common in Lanayru, this is common everywhere, this is common in somewhere we haven't been yet. Oh, I just realized they actually like give you the name of it. It's called a dust relic. I didn't know that they would actually tell you the name of things that you don't have. And then these are all things that you get from enemy drops, and they're kind of rare. They're not that rare. And then these are like this one and this one are very rare enemy drops. Slash them. These are the ones that will appear in the in certain chests. And these ones are basically designated goddess plumes. Those are like designated to be in certain spots. They don't just like some of the treasure chests. Like if you have a chest that will have a rare treasure, it could actually be a bunch, but it won't be a goddess plume. Goddess plumes are like their own like level of rarity, I guess, if that makes sense. Anyway, I just thought I'd explain that since I sort of tried to do it in the last episode. And yeah, actually I'm like recording this right after I like uploaded part 17, so I'm like I just like finished watching it, and I just like saw a lot of things that I figured I should explain a little bit better, just because I'm trying to be as informative as possible. So basically that was 1/3 of the dungeon pretty much done, I'd say. I guess not really 1/3. It's like there were sort of 3 sections of this dungeon, and that was the first one done. And basically all of the sections will lead you back to this room. This is that room from before that we didn't really do anything in. I think we got like a key from this chest down here, and then I like said we can't get up there yet, but now we can get up there because I just did. So that's pretty cool. Get rid of the keys because they're annoying and no fun, and nobody likes keys. Actually, fun fact, keys are like one of the enemies that are like the most common. I think Keese and Octorox are tied for, I believe both of them were in 16 out of the 17 current main games. I think Keese weren't in, I believe it was the Adventure of Link, which was the second game, and then Octorox weren't in Twilight Princess, which is sort of weird because I mean Adventure of Link was sort of its like own unique game. That's probably like the most the single most unique Zelda game, like in terms of just how different it is from most of the other ones. And oh, sweet! I just heard some. There we go, another jelly blob. As you can see, jelly blobs can also be dropped from the whatever those things are called. I think they're called like aracas or something. So jelly blobs can be dropped from, I believe the things that can drop them are the chews, the Deku Babas, I think that's what they're called in this game. It might be called something else, and then the aracas. Actually I'm going to I'm gonna use feet to look at one just because they actually say something pretty cool that I will like explain why that comes into play in a little bit. You couldn't do this section before because the box was basically covered in the sand, and for some reason in this game, I guess Link just really doesn't like sand or something. But if you like try to interact with anything with sand on it, he just won't do anything. So it's called an Araka. Larval monster used to live for said to live for thousands of years, which time it is continually growing. Keep that in mind, because there's actually something really cool that I'll show about it. So it's small in size, it's quite ferocious. No, it's not. They don't even do damage. Defeated 30 of these. I mean, it shows that your battle performance is very strong. I'm pretty sure I am very strong with everything at this point, because like I really haven't had any issues with like the enemies and with dying, except for that one enemy that I will show later on. There actually might be one in the next room, so that's pretty cool.